Weinzig 695, Patriot 957-2874. Joining us on the program is Eric Early. He is the Republican candidate for Attorney General of the state of California. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Andrew. How are you?
You know, if you get elected, one of your first cases might be settling a locker room squabble with the Los Angeles Rams. I read that they're fielding 2 male cheerleaders for the first time.
Fascinating.
Where are they going to dress?
I haven't heard that one yet. By the way, that song was California Uber Alles by the Dead Kennedys.
Oh, my God! You just won like 1,000 points. You don't get anything from me saying that.
I have to win this election.
Yes, you have to win this election. Let's talk about California's sanctuary policy. Los Alamitos and Orange County and other communities and counties are voting amongst their board of supervisors or city council to opt out of this state law that Jerry Brown signed into law. And here's what I don't get. Jerry Brown signed into law a law. This is going to get confusing, but follow me. Jerry Brown signed into law a law that would force the local governments to violate federal law, but may find themselves violating state law by abiding by federal. It's confusing, right? So how does this work?
Well, listen, the sanctuary state law, which is what you're referring to, it's known as SB 54 out here. It was passed. It was spearheaded by this fellow De Leon, who's our state senator, and De Leon and Becerra and the supermajority of Democrats that have been controlling this state forever. They don't believe in borders. They treat the citizens of California and our legal immigrants, I might add, like they're garbage. And they don't believe in the U.S. Constitution. And this SB 54 is preventing our state and local law enforcement from working with ICE to find and out and do what we need to do with people who came here undocumented and have committed crimes, in many cases violent crimes, since they got here. So that statute violates the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, because pursuant to the Supremacy Clause, as interpreted by the United States Supreme Court in a case brought ironically by the Obama administration, says that the U.S. government, not the state government, controls immigration. And that is why, for example, I supported Jeff Sessions' recent lawsuit against the state of California against this crazy sanctuary state law and the sanctuary city law, because when you look at how these laws are being used, they're being used exclusively to protect illegal immigrant felons. And why we are protecting felons out here who aren't even our citizens is inexplicable. And that's why I'm taking on this fellow Javier Becerra, who's our present unelected Attorney General, at every instance I can. Remarkably, Mr. Becerra yesterday threatened the sheriff of Orange County with legal action if she follows the United States Constitution. This is what we're dealing with out here. But Andrew, I have some good news for the rest of the nation and for the great people of California. And that is that notwithstanding the media bosses and the political elite, the people in California are starting to rise up. And we have this great city of Los Alamitos out here. These are brave pioneers. They came out and they said, we are opting out of California sanctuary state law. And now the Board of Supervisors of Orange County has joined in the lawsuit that the Trump administration filed against the sanctuary laws. And this is starting to spread around California. So you know what happens? After a while, people are sick of this media control telling us what to do, who we should elect, what to think. And they're rising up and they're acting up, and it's starting to spread to other cities and communities in California. And I think Mr. Becerra, as I said, he's unelected, is besides himself. This fellow Becerra was appointed by Jerry Brown a year ago to replace Kamala Harris when she went off to do her bring her madness to the U.S. Senate, and And this fellow, Mr. Becerra, he's not even, I mean, he's got a law degree. I don't consider him a real lawyer. He's a political hack. In this year-long time, he's sued the Trump administration. We've all lost count out here. It's either 25 or 28 or 29 times, spending a fortune in California taxpayer money and ignoring all the things that an attorney general should be doing to protect the people of the state of California out here. So there's a lot going on out here.
Here's what I find bizarre about this. First of all, the Democrats always like to cite the Supremacy Clause as it relates to federal legislation, not the Constitution, right? There's a difference between passing a law and the rule of law. So when the federal government passes a law that may not comport with the 10th Amendment, they'll say, well, Supremacy Clause, but the Supremacy Clause is limited to the Constitution. But Article 1, Section 8, enumerated powers, number 3, places all laws regarding naturalization in the hands of Congress. So there is the federal power to set naturalization laws. What I find even more bizarre is that after SB 1070 in Arizona, right now we're seeing the fight with SB 4 in Texas, nobody is saying that Orange County sheriffs or Los Alamitos PD must be patrolling the streets for anybody they think is in the country illegally, right? What we're talking about is people that are already arrested for other things informing ICE that they have in their midst an illegal immigrant, no different than if they had somebody in their midst that was violating federal gun laws, federal drug laws, or any other trafficking laws. They would inform the federal authorities, would they not?
That's correct. And let me just be clear. Our state and local law enforcement out here, they don't act as immigration officers. They don't want to act as immigration officers. If they do a traffic stop, they don't ask the person whether or not they're legal or not legal. In fact, as an example, the Los Angeles Police Department has for many years an order in place that have prevented that kind of questioning from going on. What we're talking about here is...
Well, wait, hold on. Let me stop you. Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Let's say a police officer pulls somebody over, and they have no license, and they don't speak the language, and maybe they even smell like alcohol. Is there any jurisdiction in California where the police are not going to hold you until they figure out who you are?
There should not be. There should not be any jurisdiction.
If I got pulled over in California, if I get pulled over in California and I say I don't have a license, I don't have my wallet, but my name is Andrew Wilkow, are they going to go, you know what? Go right ahead, sir. Or are they going to hold me until they figure out who I am, whether or not I have a warrant out for my arrest?
Of course they're going to hold you.
Oh,
okay. It doesn't matter of your race, creed, color, religion, immigration background or not. They're going to do that. What these sanctuary laws are doing is they're preventing our state and local law enforcement from working with ICE to out these felons that I described earlier. And it's outrageous. That's why what this maniac of an Oakland mayor did a couple weeks ago, Libby Schaaf, by notifying these illegal immigrant felons that ICE was coming to find them, put ICE in danger, put the public in danger, and allowed these criminals to go hide. And where do they go hide, by the way? 9 times out of 10, they go hide among the illegal immigrant population who are the most vulnerable. And so I just want to make clear, these sanctuary laws are not being used to protect the mom and pops out there who came here illegally, who've been working hard, who've been trying to become part of the American system, who've been making their kids, helping work with their kids to become part of the American system. These sanctuary laws are being used exclusively to protect the types of people like that guy who shot Kate Steinle up in San Francisco a couple of years ago. That's why these sanctuary laws have to be abolished.
Well, here's the last thing. If the state plans on arresting local law enforcement officers or sheriffs and elected officials, they can't complain if federal authorities arrest them.
That's a good point.
Okay, I got to leave it there.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I was just saying one last point, guy, before the music kicks in.
Yeah, if you could go, if your listeners could go to ericearly.com, ERICEARLY.com. We are fighting the good fight here. I'm speaking to people all over the great state of California. We can win this race and take this fellow, Mr. Becerra, out of office. I could use all your support. And, Andrew, I always love talking to you. Thank you,
sir. EricEarly.com is the website. Eric Early, thanks for joining us.